What's your baseball philosophy? What got you so far?
You know, I try to have fun. Two, I keep God first. That's an important thing to me and the way I was raised. And I know if you do that, you'll go a long way in life in general. But I think just having fun, keeping it light, and not looking too much into the other stuff. Just kind of going to the field and doing your work, having fun with the guys, and playing the game.
Now, has professional baseball changed you in any way?
It's stressful. So at times it's stressful, but I think as a person, I think I'm the same person. I got a lot of good friends that I've made playing the game. I got a lot of good friends back home that I grew up with, so I don't think it's changed me as a person.
Now, you were a first-round draft pick?
Yes, supplemental.
Supplemental, yeah. Now, did you put any extra pressure on yourself in the first round, or any extra pressure on you?
You know, I try not to look into all that too much. I put pressure on myself because I expect things out of myself that I don't think anybody else, any social media, any other coaches, or whatever the case may be, will put any pressure that I don't put on myself. So I kind of don't look into that too much and just kind of look to play.
Now, as a first-round pick, you made it obviously this far and back and forth, but there's a lot of first-round picks that get passed up by guys drafted in the later rounds. Why does that happen?
They got a lot of guys who can play the game just as well that get picked up in those later rounds. I think the draft sometimes can be overseen and overthought in a sense. So whether you're the first rounder or whether you're a 30th rounder, they got guys who still the same game, and they got guys who can play just as good.
Now, when you get to spring training, there's a ton of guys at your spot. How do you handle that?
You know, for the most part, you just handle your business. Like I said earlier, you just go out and it is what it is, and you just got to take care of what you can control. And I think getting your work in is a big thing, and just looking forward to be like a sponge and learn from the older guys, and just play the game hard and play the game the right way, and it'll take you a long way.
Baseball has its ups and downs and injuries and stuff like that. Have you ever thought about not playing baseball?
It definitely has its ups and downs, and that is a middle part of it. That's a grind. But to never play, to say I've never thought about playing baseball, probably not. It's something that I've always done, and it's kind of part of me. So I don't know what I would do without baseball, really. So I think I'd always play baseball.
What did you learn about professional baseball the hard way that nobody told you about before you started?
Just the playing every day. That was probably the biggest difference for me, was getting a routine and keeping your body healthy and being ready and mentally ready to play every day. That's probably the most thing that I've been used to.
Now, once you sign a contract, obviously you're a professional baseball player. Was there a moment before that you could point to that you realized you were going to play professional baseball?
I guess I'd say my sophomore year in college. That's kind of when I started getting contacted by scouts, and I had a good year, so I kind of thought to myself, hey, this could happen, and a dream could come true, so I kind of just went with it.
You read the sports pages, or where Baseball America or MLB ranks you in the top 30 in the organization, stuff like that?
To be honest, I really don't, man. I don't like looking at that kind of stuff. To me, that's all just paper, and that's fine and dandy, but that don't mean too much, so I just look to do my work on the field.
Anybody call you up, like mom and dad, and tell you what they read about you or what somebody said?
Oh, I'm sure they do. They look into that kind of stuff, but they know that I don't want to hear it, and they know better than tell me, because I'm not too high on talking about that kind of stuff.
How do you have the fans, people yelling and screaming at you all the time?
That's just part of the game. You got to embrace it. There's not much you can do to change it except perform. So, and it's baseball. So some days you're going to have great days, and some days you're going to have terrible days. And that's when you just got to be mentally strong and come back to get them the next day.
How about the umpires? How do you handle the umpires?
You know, they're human. They're not perfect, and as much as we wish they were, they're not, and neither are we. So you kind of just take them for what it is, and they call the game the best of their knowledge, and that's just how it is.
How about if a high school kid came up to ask you about professional baseball, what would you tell him?
I tell him just to mentally be strong. I mean, baseball takes tons of skill, but it also takes tons of mental toughness, and I think that's a big thing as a young guy that I didn't really understand, and it's just an up and down game like you mentioned, so you just got to be mentally strong and be ready for what it is.
How about your teammates? And teammates when they're throwing stuff at you during interviews and stuff like that?
That's just part of it, man. It's fun. It's all good around here.